Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Liu Haonan, and today I'm going to present the third tutorial question in topic 8. The situation is consultant SDM recently bought a used car which was about 6 months old, and for its managing director to drive. Conrad, the managing director, did not inspect the boot of the car bought when he saw the car. So after after test driving the car, Conrad, on behalf of consultant STM signed a contract of sale of the car with Kim, the seller. Uh, two, 2 weeks after the delivery of the car to Conrad, he found that the car had a water leak in its boot and also had an engine oil leak. The later damage, which is the oil leak, was irreparable, meaning that a new engine was necessary. And Conrad comes to you for advice as to whether the company is entitled to repudiate the contract and claim for the purchase price that he had paid Kim, advised him. So in this case, according to sale of good contract, the section 41, the first, where goods are delivered to the buyer which he has not previously examined, he is not deemed to have accepted them unless and until he has had a reasonable opportunity of examining them for the purpose of ascertaining whether they are in conformity with the contract. So in this situation, the managing director, who is Conrad, has already checked the used car before the sale and get a conclusion that there's no problem for it. So this clause should not be effective, and Conrad has no reason to reject this contract. Second, unless otherwise agreed, when the seller tendered delivery of goods to the buyer, he is bound, on request, to afford the buyer a reasonable opportunity of examining the goods for the purpose of ascertaining whether they are in conformity with the contract. So for the seller, for Kim, he did follow the clause and allow the managing director, which is Conrad, to check the used car before Kim sell it, and this will make the clause become effective. And furthermore, based on the Consumer Protection Act 1999, in section 61, the service supplied under the contract is merely incidental to the supplier of the good. The contract between Conrad and Kim is only about the used car. It's only about the supply of the goods. So it is impossible for Conrad to rescind the contract. But according to the section 41, where the failure is one that can be remedied, the consumer may require the supplier to remedy the failure within a reasonable time in accordance with section 42. And in the case we can see that the water leak is repairable, so it is remedied. So Conrad can get a reward from King because of the water leak, but the oil leak is irreparable. Uh, as we just talked about that, we have to and a new engine is necessary. So we should follow the section 45 to decide whether the contract can be cancelled or not. So section 45 indicates that the size or height or method of attachment the goods cannot be returned or removed or transported without significant cost to the consumer, in which case the supplier shall collect the goods at its own expense. And because the engine is removable, and because the engine is removable, Conrad cannot reject the contract. As a result, based on section 41, Conrad can obtain from the supplier damages in compensation for any reduction in the value of the goods below the price paid or payable by the consumer for the goods. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.